gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 9 of turning £500 into £25,000. At the end of last episode, we had a lot of money to spend. In the bank, we had £2,115. Now, a lot of you have been messaging me and asking me, Sam, when are you going to start saving money? Well, the whole idea is obviously reinvesting every single penny. So I wouldn't call this saving, but we are putting £1,000 to the side just in case a big deal could come up, as we're going to start looking at bulk deals now because we've got a lot of money to spend. So we have £2,115 balance to spend. We have done £6,000 in revenue, and we are about a quarter of the way to our goal. It would be crazy if we could do it before the end of 2025, but we'll have to see. Anyway, back to the stuff. Right, so what did I do? Obviously, went on the Vinted monitor, bought a bunch of stuff. Simple as that. Obviously, but I thought the JD sale starts tomorrow. Well, this was when I was thinking yesterday before we start recording this. So I went there and I actually bought a bunch of stuff. Now, you would have already seen this video. So for anyone that hasn't, I'm going to quickly show you what I bought and what I paid, and then I'll show you what I bought on the monitor. Firstly, I bought 4 pairs of these Samba Cordoras at £30 each. Then I bought 2 pairs of these Sambas at £20 each. These Handball Specials for £30. These New Balance 9060s were £35. These Vomeros were £30. 2 pairs of these Air Max 95s at £55. 2 pairs of these Air Max 95s at £100. These Air Max 90s for £50. Well, and that's everything. But we got some really good stuff. If you haven't seen that JD summer sale video, it's been out for quite a while now. Obviously, as you know, I film quite ahead of time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get these out every single week without fail. And then obviously, I hopped on the monitor, bought a bunch of pairs. I got some New Balances for £14.10, React Visions for £8.05, Mercurials for £6.34, Air Max 90 for £16.32, Vapor Max 3 for £6.77, Air Max 98 for £5.09, Air Force 1 for £9.29, Asics for £13.69, Spezials for £17.35, New Balance for £18.74, Air Max 95 for £13.69, Hypervenom for £10.87, React Visions for £12.50, Air Max TNs for £26.29, Air Max 90 for £11.59, Air Max 95 for £32.59, Dunk Lows for £7.19, Jordan 1s for £13.49, New Balance 550s for £10.44, Air Max 95s for £13.69, Mercurials for £9.82, Sambas for £6.34, another pair of Sambas for £8.24, New Balance for £13.49, Asics for £13.49, Dunk Lows for £10.54, Air Max TNs for £24.19, Jordan 4s for £18.94, and Huaraches for £8.44. A lot of you have been asking me, Sam, what Vinted monitor are you using? Well, I've been telling you I've been testing one out, and I'm finally happy to tell you the one I've been using is the Kai Kicks Vinted monitor. Now, this is not paid promo, but I did speak to Kai, and I said to him, for the people, can we sort a little discount code? He was like, yes, Sam, just for you. So, in the description is a link to it, and if you use the code on the screen now, it is literally just Sam, my name, SAM, you will get your first month for £5. In my opinion, there is not a better monitor for that price. There is not a better monitor I've used out there than this one. If you want me to go into more detail about using the monitor, I'll make a video on it. Comment monitor down below if you want more info. If you're new here, stick around because things are about to get crazy. And if you're watching this and you haven't seen the videos yet, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Over 75% of you are not subscribed, which is crazy. I'm trying to hit 10k by the end of the year. I don't know if it's possible, but we're going for it. Anyway, I'll see you when pairs begin to arrive. But before that, I had to get the last 3 pairs pictured and listed up on Vinted.
2 days later.
So whilst I was getting those last few pairs pictured and listed, we made 2 more sales. First, we've got these grey New Balances, which sold for £43.20. And we've also got these Nike Terra Kyga Trails that sold for £33.30. Don't know why they paid extra pennies on top, but that's fine. I think on these, we're looking at about £20 profit, and the New Balance was about £22 profit. Roughly about £45 profit on both of these. And I'm back from the post office. It looks like pretty much every single pair has arrived in one sitting, which is fantastic. We're probably waiting on a couple, but not too bad. So I'm going to unbox them all off camera just because it's a bit quicker. And then I'll show you what has arrived. We've got these two, 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 and these two. But I do have a tilt live in about 2 days from now. And the plan is that I want to clear out anything I've bought before sort of episode 6 or 7 and just get it all gone. Hopefully I don't lose any money and it's all profit, as obviously that's the whole aim of the game really. But obviously if you want to join the tilt lives next time, don't miss out. The link's in the description, and that's where I have to be selling as well as tilt because I can't move everything on Vinted. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Can't move everything on Vinted, so I'm using tilt as well just to clear out all the old stock. And obviously because we're paying so low, we can kind of sell low, and then, you know, it's a win-win for everyone. You guys can buy at profitable prices and then I can clear it, hopefully make profit on the majority of stuff, and it's happy days. But for now, I've got to get to cleaning, so I'm going to crack on with that and then I'll tap back in with you very soon. So the first 6 pairs have been cleaned and prepped. We've got the Reacts, the Spezials, the Air Max 90s, another Air Max 90, the New Balance 9060 if you can see them, and the Huaraches. So these will be photographed and listed later. And then we also sold another 3 pairs. So let me show you them to you right now. So first up, we've got these Air Max 95 reverse neons, which sold for £85. Then we've got these white, red and silver and black P6000s. These ones sold for £46. And the third pair is this New Balance 2002 protection pack. This is the Chinese New Year. They sold for £67. So on those 3 pairs is just under £100 profit. I am going to pack them all up and then we'll go and drop them off, and I think the final couple pairs should be ready to collect. I am back from the post office. We have more parcels, so without further ado, let's start cracking these ones open. First pair is some New Balance 1906. These are actually size exclusive, so yeah, good pair, and New Balances seem to sell pretty well. Then we have got these grey Air Max 95. I think we've had these in the other series as well. Oh, these smell like laundry detergent. It is these A6 Gel 1130s. I mean, they definitely need to go back in the wash. Then we have got some Dunk Low Racer Blues. With Dunks, I wouldn't spend more than like £10 to £15 maximum on them, but easy way to just double your money. And finally, we've got Vapor Max 3 Pure Platinums. Bubbles are all good. I mean, these were a £5 and they will come perfectly out in a 20-minute wash. And then finally, I've already broken the tape, but yeah, I'm not going to take these out the box. They are the black TNs, they're just very muddy. And yeah, that is everything that has arrived today. Right now, I just need to go and do some photos of pairs we've already cleaned and get them listed. So let's go do that now. So I have just done my second tilt live and we sold 15 more pairs. Now, I know I haven't gone through the figures from the first tilt live. I've just been paid out on them, so I can work that all out now because of discounts and shipping and whatnot. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, but obviously money's money, isn't it? And we got a bunch of stuff sold last time. So this time we sold 15 pairs. Now I'm going to run through every single sale and how much they sold for. This price does not include my cost of shipping and fees. So this is before shipping and fees. Anyway, let me get pair number 1. It is these Pegasus, which sold for £11.50. These sold for £23.50. These sold for £19.50. These sold for £21.50. These sold for £24. These sold for £13.50. Thankfully, we paid like £7 on these. These sold for £11. These sold for £26. These sold for £25.50. These sold for £34, which is very low, and I'm very disappointed with that. These sold for £26.50. These sold for £23.50. These sold for £27. These sold for 20 and these sold for 32, which once again, a little bit disappointed on that, but we did just over £400 in revenue, cleared out 15 pairs. I need the space because we've still got loads of stuff to list and then we'll have to buy more stuff. But I'm hoping even if we made, I don't know, we'll probably end up making 10 to 20%, it's still profit, and we cleared out 15 pairs and profit is profit at the end of the day. So I'm going to go get these packed up and then get them ready to be dropped off in the morning, as it is the evening now. I then sold these for £38 on Vinted. These ones also sold on Vinted for £38.70, and then these shocks sold for £50. So obviously we got paid out on all of the tilt sales from the first stream, which was last episode. And I found out there was a Foot Locker sale starting today. So I went down. By the time you're already watching this, the video of me going and buying everything in the shop is already out. But I thought I'd show you what I bought and what I paid, because it is going to be part of this series, just like we did with the JD stuff earlier in the episode. First up, I got these Dunks brand new for £35. Then I got 6 pairs of these Air Max TNs in grade school, UK 5 and 5.5. These were £30 each, which is a very good price. I feel like we should be able to make £20 a pair on them easy. Then I picked up these Vapor Max Plus for £60. I think we should be able to make 30, 35 on them. So still at least like a 50% margin, but then it is 35 quid, which is a lot. Please don't fall. All right, it's not falling. And then these, I should be able to get a little bit more. I think I should be able to get at least 100 on this pair, which was £60 as well. So how much did I spend? 60, 120, £335 spent.
5 hours later.
We have had 2 more arrivals, so let me quickly unbox these for you. First pair of these grey A6 Gel 1130s. And then the second ones we got are some white and grey Air Force One lows. And on top of that, we have also sold 7 pairs, 3 on Vinted and 4 on other platforms. And I'll explain why in a second. Let's show you the Vinted sales first. So all 3 of these are from the JD sale. The first pair of these Air Max 90s, we paid £50. And we sold these ones for 90. Next are the Baltic Blue 95s, which we paid 100 for and sold for 60. And the third pair of these Sambas, which we sold for £60. So off those 3 pairs, we have made £130. Now, the next 4 pairs, 3 sold on StockX and 1 sold on Laced. Now, obviously, because they're brand new, we're able to sell on those platforms, whereas the used ones, we can't. But I'll quickly show you those pairs. Firstly, we've got the UK 11 Sambas that sold for £71.65 payout, which is over £40 profit. Next are the Black Vapor Max Plus that sold for £98.35 profit, which is just under £40 profit on these ones. Then the third and final StockX sale are this Vapor Max Plus, which we just bought, obviously the last 2 in Foot Locker sale. These sold for £116.15, so £56.15 profit on them. Our final sale today is these Adidas Specials that sold for £69.51 on Laced, and we made £39.51 profit on these. So off those 4 pairs is £180 more profit. So it's definitely good capitalizing on other platforms. But as you can see, that's 7 pairs that I bought in the sales in this episode that have all sold within a few days. And now I'm going to show you the results from the first Tilt live stream I did and how much we made off that. So if you remember, we did a Tilt live in the last episode, and this is everything that sold with the payout. So these sales are after shipping and fees, and this is everything that sold. So we did quite a lot of sales. We did 1.4k in revenue, or just under, and made a total of £750 profit and 120% ROI. I'll give you a second to have a look right now and see what we made overall. But yeah, all in all, really happy with how that went down. We made some good profits. Obviously, it helps that we bought really cheap, and we didn't lose on a single item. I did think we were going to lose on these Dunk Lows, but we did make £1.74 on them. Anyway, back to the video. So here's a quick update. We did get 2 pairs not shipped, so they were refunded, which was a pair of Nike React Visions for £8.05 and some New Balance 9060s. And then these arrived, but I forgot to record it. They Number one, they're fake. I don't know if you lot can see the size tag in that, but yeah, it's really bad. And then there's all damage on the front. Now, the seller is making me pay for delivery on return, so be it. So we lose about £2 on that, but that's fine because we made 3 more sales. First up, we have got the Vomeros, which were from the JD sale, which were £30, and we sold them for £70. Next up, we've got these Epic React fly knits, which cost me about £8, I believe, in episode 5 or 6. And these ones sold for £33.30, which is just over £25 profit from £8, which is great. And the third pair is these New Balance 9060s, which cost £35 in the JD sale. We got these at the start of the episode, and these ones sold for £75. So it's £40 profit on these, 40 on Vomeros, and 25 on the Epic Reacts, which means from those 3 pairs, just over £105 profit. So I'm going to go and drop these off and return that pair of dunks. And then at the end of the episode, we'll go through the budget again. Obviously, we've got all the tilt sales from the last clip, and then a bunch of stuff is obviously sold throughout this episode. But I've still got a bunch of pairs to clean and prep. I've cleaned about 4 more pairs, 5 more pairs, so we'll get to prepping them now. So I did get these 4 pairs prepped, and these have now been listed. We've got the A6, the New Balance, the Hypervenom, and the TN, and sales have really been picking up now. We sold another 5 pairs. These New Balance 9060s sold for £40. These Adidas Spezial in green sold for £38. These Air Max BW in black sold for £37. These Adidas Samba XLG in the size 7. Remember, I bought these for 20 quid from the JD sale at the start of the episode. They sold for £45. And these Jordan 3 Fire Red in a size 6 sold for £40. So off those 5 pairs, we have made over £115 profit. Now, let's get them packed and shipped. The following morning, I then took photos and set up listings for the remainder of the pairs that haven't been listed yet, which is obviously everything you're seeing on the screen.
The next day.
And that brings us to this point right here where we have made our final 3 sales for the episode. But stick around if you want to see how much money we have made so far in the challenge. The first sale is these Dunk Low Goldenrod Reverse. They cost £35 and they sold for £58 on the good old Vinted. Then we have got the Samba XLG, the second pair. This is the UKA, and it sold for £47.50 on Vinted. And this is the third and final pair of the episode. It is the second pair of Baltic Blues I bought, and these ones sold on Laced for £167. So a nice £67 profit on these. Total profit on all of those pairs is around £115. But now let me get onto the screen and we can run through how much we made in this episode and how much money we've got to spend in the next episode. So obviously all of these are sales from the previous 9 episodes. When we get down to, still going, we sold quite a lot. Here we go. So here is the grey zone. So this is everything that would have been paid out in this episode, potentially even sold in this episode as well. So quite a lot of sales, to be fair. Before I show you that total, you may have already seen it. This is from the till. So these are all the prices that everything sold for. So obviously this is after the shipping and the fees. Thankfully, we stayed profitable on everything. I can't remember if I've shown this to you already. I feel like I have, but yeah, here's a quick look at that. And then we come down. These are all the Vinted sales from this episode. So yeah, we've got a lot of different stuff. Obviously, we've got Spezials. The P6000s were a big profit. The Mercurial, whereas that Vapor 13 Elite was a big profit. And then obviously the Hypervenom was another big profit. So off Vinted sales in this episode, we made a total profit of £713. That's fantastic. And this is our totals right now. So we have done a total of just over £9,000 in revenue, £5,263.79 profit, average return on investment 138.991%, so call it 139%. And then this is all the pending sales. So we've got another 1.5k to come in. Basically, I don't think I'm ever going to see these shoes again because these still haven't paid out. They got returned and haven't come back. And then these 2 have gone missing and Vinted haven't paid me out. So we may just have to cut our losses. I mean, thankfully it's on some cheap ass stuff, so not that fast. But yeah, so we've got another 1.4k coming in, another £700 profit. And then this is all the stock we've still got. Still loads of stuff in stock. Total value of the stock is 1.6k roughly. Now, let's look at the money side. So originally, when we had the first £500, we spent 456. We have £43 left over. So we add the balance to the revenue, which we do a little sum here, and that is our total balance. That is our total spend. So our funds after at £807. I did say we were banking money, but we took some out for the Foot Locker sale. So technically we have minus 192, but we actually have £807. And then the new revenue is £9,050 and 91 pence. So we've actually got £3,302 and 64 pence left. Wow. That is a lot of money. That is 6x what we started with. Wow. And then obviously we're going to keep £1,000 back in the bank. That's kind of the reserve money. So we will be aiming to spend at least £2,000 at the start of episode 10. I'm thinking maybe we look at bulk options as well as Vinted. Maybe do 50-50, something like that. And with that, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I think it was good to test out different ways of buying stock. Obviously utilising the JD sale and the Foot Locker sale to our advantage, where we sold the majority of the stuff on Vinted anyway. So yeah, I think we need to find other ways of making money, you know, and to get to that 25k goal, that's a big amount of money. You know, some people that work a normal job make that sort of money in a year, obviously a little bit more, but you know what I mean, like 25,000 is a lot of money. And yeah, we are literally 20% of the way there this is episode 9. So we're roughly 9 or 10 weeks in at the time of recording this. Obviously, they don't release every single week because we've got the other series. If you haven't seen that, it is £100 to £10,000, which I'd like to finish before the end of the year. I think we will, but you'll have to watch that to find out where we're up to on that series. And of course, I'm going to end that one here. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. And I will see you very soon for episode number 10 of turning £500 into £25,000 just by Vinted reselling and a couple other extras, but you know what I mean. God bless.